Hello, hello, sweet soul. It is good to see you back on Yoga with Paige, or welcome if we're new friends here. Today we have a nice grounding flow. It's kind of an everyday, short and sweet, little simple practice that we can use whenever we want to stay closer connected to the earth. For whatever reason, sometimes maybe it's just calling to you today. Maybe you need a little bit more connection. You want to feel more with the earth, but for whatever reason, this is a lower energy, gentle practice that does not require any props. So whenever you're ready, you get started in child pose at the back of the mat. So allowing yourself to melt down slowly here, reaching the fingertips out, keeping the big toes together. The hands are reached towards the front of the mat. Arms are nice and long. Just taking a few breaths here, settling into the mat, into your practice. Finding your breath. On this next breath, reach the fingertips out a little bit longer, maybe finding more length in the sides of the arms. And then plant the forehead gently down on the mat. Take the palms together and reach the hands behind the head, walking the elbows up towards the front of the mat. Getting a nice stretch in the backs of the arms, the triceps. Really pressing the hands together. Beautiful, nice long breath. And on your next exhale, plant the hands. Inhale, raise the head. Gently and slowly roll up to sitting on the knees. So really drag the fingertips with you as you sit up nice and slow. Palms face forward. Inhale, reach the arms up nice and tall. And exhale, bend the elbows, kind of drawing through a big cactus here. But don't hold your cactus like we normally do. Keep drawing the elbows down, moving slow, opening up the chest, and then let the fingertips fall by the sides. Inhale, sweep the arms up, doing that about 2 more times. So really just seeing, maybe you feel some little creaks happening back here, maybe your back cracks. Just a big opening, moving with the breath. Exhale, draw the elbows down. Let's go for gold. Let's go 2 more times. Big breath. Maybe close the eyes on this one. Make this exhale audible. 1 more time. And when your fingertips find the mat, coming into a little seated cat-cow. So inhale, reach the arms up. Maybe take a little back bend here. Exhale, sweep them in front of the chest, rounding through the back, tucking the chin. And you can really make this kind of fun, flirty, playful. Find any ways of movement that feel good to you here. Just working through the spine. Maybe finding some little waves. We don't have to make this traditional at all. Just so that it feels good to you. Taking about 2 more breaths here. And on your last inhale, raise up onto the knees. Hands can float around you. Find your footing here, really ground down through the tops of the feet, lift up through the crown of the head. Hands come to heart center. I invite you now, if you have the balance, the stability, if this feels okay for you, to close your eyes and just take a few rounds of breath here. Just notice what comes to mind, or just see how you feel. A little check-in, a check-in for your day. One more big breath, fill the belly, and let it all go. Release the hands to the side, open the eyes if you had them closed, and gently, carefully step this right foot up into a little low lunge. So hands can come to the hips or wherever feels good, taking a few moments to kind of lunge into it here. So just opening up this left hip flexor. Beautiful. Trying to keep your hips nice and square. Maybe you want to straighten the front leg as you come back. Finding any little wiggles here. Taking about one more breath with our little lunges. And then we come up into our nice and stable low lunge. Squeeze those glutes together. Arms fall by the sides. Inhale, reach the left up. Just finding a little side stretch. If you need to place the fingertips down, totally okay. And release. Then reach the right arm up. And exhale, release. One more time, each side. Beautiful. Then inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, open and twist to the right. Maybe this left hand finds the knees, back one can find the lower back. Whatever kind of a twist feels good to you. 2 breaths here. Beautiful. Coming back to center. Plant this left fingertips down. Reach the right arm back, coming onto the outer edge of this right foot. Reaching the right hand back towards the back foot. Just kind of sinking the hips down, opening through the glutes. And exhale, come back. And send the hips back, flexing the right foot, half splits. Reach up through the crown of the head. Find nice length in the spine here. Beautiful, nice active legs. One breath. And then carefully bend that knee, bring it back to the right, come up onto the knees. Find one breath here to reset before going into the other side. Send some love to your mind, to your body. And when you're ready, step up with the left foot, low lunge, and lunge it out. Lunge into your lunge. Just noticing how the body feels, how all of these movements feel. Maybe you can feel the different muscles or the energy, the heat in your body. One last breath of our lunges to open up the hips. And then lift the hips up, come into your nice sturdy low lunge and reach the right arm overhead. Exhale. Finding a little flow within yourself, within your breathing pattern. And then coming back to center when you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, open to the left, nice big twist. Find whatever variation suits your needs today. Taking one more big breath. And then gently come back through center, plant the right fingertips down, and come into our little nectar of the moon, reaching that left hand back as we come out to the outer edge of the left foot. Let yourself breathe here. See where you can soften in the hips, especially if they're tight. And exhale, gently come back and send the hips back with you, flexing the left toes up towards the sky. Find your position and then use your next inhale to reach with the crown of the head up, upwards. 2 breaths here. Maybe you're folding a little bit on the exhales, or maybe you're just using your balance, your stability to hold yourself up. And on this next exhale, carefully sweep the left foot back with the right and at the knee, not the foot. Gently plant the palms and come down onto the belly. Sweeping the forearms out in front of you, coming into a nice Sphinx pose. Finding space between the fingers, elbows are underneath the shoulders. Exhale, press away, sending the pelvis down into the mat. Chest reaches up nice and high. Just taking a few breaths here. Noticing your connection to your mat, the connecting points of your body to the ground. And just allow yourself to be for a few moments. Nothing to do but breathe. And we can stay here for a few more breaths, or if we want to get a little fancy, we can lower the chest, sweep the arms by the sides, and come into a little locust pose. Raising the feet and the hands off the mat, squeezing everything, finding a nice little back bend, a little strength in the back body. Use your breath. And wherever we are, exhale to release, plant the hands, tuck the toes, and send the hips up nice and strong, coming into a little downward facing dog. Walk the hands out. Find your downward facing dog, big toes together, send the hips up, and then bend the right knee, really pressing the left heel down into the mat. Waking up the back of the leg, pressing away from the shoulders, trying to reach the chest towards the legs. One big breath here, and then on your next exhale, switch. Now bending the left knee. Sending the right heel energetically down, down, down. And then bend the knees, maybe taking one breath with each bend. Before settling into a nice static downward facing dog, holding here just for a few breaths. Trying to find the rest in this resting pose. Gripping with the fingers. Feeling nice and long and lengthened. Helping to decompress the spine. And taking your last breath here, you can shift your weight onto the hands and gently walk the hands back towards the feet. Turning the toes out to the corners of the mat, sinking the hips down, bending the knees, coming into a little Malasana, a little squat. We don't need to have the heels on the mat if they don't reach, that's totally okay. Maybe we would like to place a block or something underneath to make this a little bit more accessible. We're here for a few breaths, just lifting the chest, heart center is open. Finding your breath again. Maybe using the elbows to gently press the knees open a little bit more. Helping yourself. We can always take a little side stretch here or find any other movements that feel good. And when you are ready, you can gently, carefully take the hands behind the hips and make your way into a nice little easy seat, ending with a little bit of presence here today. So find a comfortable position that feels good to you. And we're just going to connect with the breath. Try to let the thoughts go, kind of empty the mind, and just connect to yourself. Notice how you're feeling now. Notice where you're at. No judgment with the answers, even if you don't feel any quote unquote better than before. Sometimes it's like that. Finding a little bit of silence and stillness. Intentionally doing nothing. Intentionally choosing to not really think about anything. But if thoughts drift in, that's okay. You can just let them float on by, using the breath as your tool to pull you back in to the now. And taking our last few breaths together, this is where our practice together ends today. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat, and I look forward to the next time we meet again.